Hey everybody, it's Mikkel Hale, and I just wanted to take a second to share some information with you about what's going on in our market right now. At the end of the year, the National Association of Realtors and our local board collects all of the data that has happened and taken place over the last year, and really gives us a great opportunity to look at what has happened and what we can maybe predict that's going to continue to happen. I know no one has a crystal ball, but I think looking at some of these statistics and really getting a better idea of how many sales have taken place, some of the numbers as far as days on market, average sales prices can really give us a great idea and understanding what has happened, especially in a year like 2020 where COVID has really taken a toll on a lot of other states. And some of the news that we get and hear on a national level don't always really apply in a specific state or even in our county. So I think having some local insight on what's going on in the real estate market is really helpful. And now is the perfect time to be able to take a look at what did happen last year and what we can expect this year since those stats have just been released. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is some of the challenges that we did have last year in 2020. Obviously, we fared a fairly large pandemic recession. And one thing that I think we walked away with as Utah is that we did fare that a lot better than some of the other states. I know that there were a lot of states that shut down, and real estate and anything regarding that was non-essential. And so there were some other places that really did not even have the opportunity to conduct real estate transactions during that time. And I think we were pretty lucky because we were able to definitely saw a little bit of a decline in some things that we normally would, but I think we fared it, like I said, very well, and we're able to push through that. And so we've got some really good statistics to be able to help you understand what's kind of happening and really moving forward what we can expect, because I think there are a lot of factors such as the vaccines that are being released right now, some of the pent-up demand, the inventory we're seeing, and some of the building projects that are moving forward still, and even some of the federal stimulus that is going to help us really get a better trajectory of what's going to happen in 2021. And one of the most common questions that I get, or a lot of people I know here, are we in a housing bubble right now? Are we really looking at another recession that we're heading into, and the home prices are going to do something similar to what happened in 2006, 2007? And I really think that we are in a completely different situation than them. Even though we have seen home prices go up and definitely a very strong seller's market, I think one of the biggest differences right now is prior to 2006 and 2007, when that did start to really turn us into a declining housing market, was we had so much pent up inventory. We had a lot of foreclosures taking place at that point, and a lot of number of things. There was builders building spec homes that you could walk into a subdivision and there'd be 20, 30 homes available for sale still that were under construction but weren't under contract yet. And we are completely opposite right now. In fact, we are facing a very large number of buyer demand that is outweighing our supply. So I think when it comes back to the basic economics of supply and demand, we are looking at a very different situation than what we saw before. And I think one of the factors that really sets Utah apart is our population growth right now. Number one, we are in probably one of the best states as far as job growth. We are number one actually in creating new jobs right now as a nation. The other piece is affordability. If we obviously are seeing prices increase, but the difference is we also have very well high-paying jobs, and number two is interest rates are keeping our house payments and our ability to purchase a home fairly affordable compared to some other states as well. Plus, we see a lot of benefits with our lifestyle and some of the other things that we do have here in Utah, and so it is also driving a lot of net migration, a lot of people coming into Utah as well. So as we are creating these new job opportunities and staying relatively competitive as far as what you can get as far as a house payment, I think it's really driving a lot of people to Utah, making it a desirable place for a lot of people to live, and we are seeing the effects of that. For example, in Davis County, there were actually, if we're looking back comparing 2019 to 2020, we actually had just over 400 homes sold in January of 2020, and that was actually 25 homes more than in 2019. So real estate transactions are still happening, but the problem is we are facing two different things right now. A combination of an annual decrease in the number of homes that are on the market right now of about 10%. So there are fewer homes on the market than there were a year ago, but we have more buyers that are looking right now. So in fact, in the month of November and December, we were looking at about 20% less inventory in Davis and Weber County than we were the previous year. So between slightly inventory shortage and the increase in buyer demand, that is really what we are struggling with right now. And there are a couple different things I think that we can expect to see over this next year. Right now, we are looking at about 1 month supply of inventory, and I think there are a healthy market. Normally, we are supposed to see closer to 4 to 6 months inventory. So that means if nobody else listed their home today, all the homes that are listed would actually be under contract, and it would only take us 6 months to run out of that inventory level that we are seeing right now. So I think the most important thing to look at is what's going to happen over the next year. And we know that interest rates are extremely affordable right now, that the days on market are shorter than we have ever seen it. In fact, there's a 30% less time on market right now it takes to sell your home across the state. So that's obviously appealing to sellers because they can get their homes sold quicker than ever right now. And our average home prices have increased in the last year by about 15%. So it puts especially for a move-up buyer, if you do have a home to sell and you're considering moving, I think it makes the perfect opportunity right now for you. Because you have such control and there's such high demand for houses right now, working with an agent like myself, we can help you get all the best terms and deadlines and even negotiate a lease back so that you can stay in your home and find a home, because I know that is a big concern. Another question I get a lot from people is, okay, I know we can sell our home for more than we ever have and capitalize on that equity we have, but where will we go? And if it's a competitive market, how are we going to find that and coordinate that? So I know that can be a little bit challenging to think about, but having an expert on your side that can negotiate maybe a lease back so you can stay in your home for a couple months could be a very easy way we can solve that problem. So I think the first step is, if you're even considering selling this year or in the near future, I'd love to talk to you and show you specifically what's going on in your neighborhood and how right now may be a great time. I mean, it may not, but I think depending on what your needs are, where you would like to move to, there's a lot of factors. And I think most people are really surprised when I sit down with them and say, okay, we could sell your home for this much, and realize the amount of equity you do have. And by putting that down maybe on the new home with the combination of current interest rates being below 3%, really surprises people how much they can afford without really changing their payment very much. And especially if we could help you look at that price range that may not be as competitive as the one you're selling in, and work out a lease back so you could stay in your home for a couple months, so we could find that and give you time to do it. I think it's a great opportunity for a lot of people. So I'd love to share more information about the market if you want specifics on what's going on maybe in your exact neighborhood, because I think the other piece of this is most of the stats that we're looking at, as a nation and hearing on the news, are not always going to be relevant to exactly what's happening in your neighborhood. So love to send you that information, and that's always something I could do for free for you. So love to keep me in mind if there's anything I can ever do for you, and hope this information was helpful.